See, all of you type your yes and in the chat box. So, good afternoon, students. So, last class I have discussed about the history of lubrication and about lubrication and all these things I have covered so far. About the types of lubricants and regimes of lubrication, uh, types of lubricants under that solid, liquid, and semi-solid lubricant, and all these things I have already been covered. I'll just highlight the important things out of this. So even I have discussed about properties of lubricant, in which the viscosity is the very important one, oilness, stability, and volatility. So we have seen many questions regarding the properties of a lubricant. First property is the viscosity. Viscosity of a fluid may be defined as its resistance of a liquid to flow. Basically, viscosity is kind of a resistance to the flow. And the oilness, it is the ability of the lubricant to stay or stick on the surface of a machine parts under high pressure and load. Stability, it is the retention of properties as long as possible, oxidation, biological degradation, dilution. Volatility, it shows the operation behavior of lubricant at high temperature. A good lubricant should have low volatility. So even this volatility, whenever a lubricant is applied on a machine component, it should stick on to that component for a long time. If it is highly volatile, then it's of no use. Even with respect to increase in temperature also, so it is the default property of any liquid. It gets evaporated upon increase of temperature. But a good lubricant should have a low volatility property, so that when it is being applied on the surface of a component, it will be there for a longer period of time, even increasing temperature. So for that reason, some additives is to be added to that. That depends on the type of application. Then emulsification. So it is the property of a lubricant due to which the lubricant oil get mixed with the water to form emulsion. You might have seen paint. Even in paint also they use this word emulsion. A good lubricant should have low emulsion number and a mixture of water and oil. So corrosion stability, it is a property of the lubricant which represents its resistance towards the metals. A good lubricant should not take part in corrosion. See, in lubricants, they are also used as an anti-corrosive substances. You might have seen that in machine shops, some of the specimens, a few of the specimens are immersed in oil bath. It is just to avoid the oxidation. In terms, it will avoid the corrosion. Then thermal stability, a good lubricant must be stable towards heat and it should not decompose during operation at higher temperature. So there are around seven properties are there. So you may get a question on this. List out the properties of a lubricant. So list all these properties and explain in a few words about those properties. So then kinematic viscosity, I have discussed it. Then viscosity index. This is one more thing to be noted. Viscosity index. It is a measure of a fluid's change of viscosity with the temperature. It's an empirical number. So you might have studied about all this viscosity index in fluid mechanics or any energy conversion lab. Okay, viscosity index. So higher the viscosity index, lower will be the change of viscosity. If a oil is having higher the value of viscosity index, it means that the change of viscosity is with respect to temperature is low. And it is also viscosity index, it is an indicator of temperature range of operations. And one more point, cloud point and pour point. So cloud point is defined as the temperature at which an oil becomes cloudy or hazy in apparatus, while the temperature at which the oil ceases to flow is called pour point. So they both this cloud point and pour point indicates suitability of lubricant in cold condition. So absolute viscosity, dynamic viscosity we have learnt so far. Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluid also we have learned. Newton's laws of viscosity we have discussed in the previous class. Then units of viscosity already discussed. So in MKS unit, it is kg force a second per meter square. In CGS unit, it is Dyne seconds per centimeter square. In SI unit, it is Pascal second or Newton second per meter square. So the viscosity of units in three units, that is in MKS, CGS, and SI. Then it comes to what is the need of measuring viscosity. So why should we measure the viscosity? So viscosity measurement, it is useful in finding the behavioral and predictive information of the various products. Okay, so if that value is known, so that can be utilized for in various conditions with respect to the loading conditions of the load carrying capacity of the journal. And we have many methods to find that viscosity, that is instruments, we call it as instruments. And these instruments are called as viscometers, and it is used to measure the viscosity of the fluid. And these viscometers only measure under one flow condition. And also we have seen 4 to 5 types of viscometers. We have discussed that. Okay. And there are 16 viscometers are there. So previous class I have discussed about this Cauchy-Hatschak viscometer. I have discussed Flowers viscometer. It is also called as falling fear viscometer. Mitchell viscometer, Austral viscometer we have discussed. Sebald also we have discussed. So apart from all these 4 viscometers, most of these times we use this top 5 viscometers, top 6 viscometers up to Redwood viscometer. So remaining things are rarely used. Anyhow, all these viscometers are there to find viscosity. Then rotational viscometers, vibrational viscometer, cup and bob viscometer, rotating cylinder viscometer, oscillation viscometer, falling piston viscometer, cone and plate, parallel plate, band, efflux. So all these viscometers works on different principles. That's it. Okay. Ultimately, the aim of this viscometer is to find the viscosity of the oil at a given temperature. And also, it is evident that viscosity varies with the temperature and pressure. But we have 16 means of measuring viscosity with different principles. Okay. And among which you can answer top 6 viscometers. Normally in the examination, they may ask to explain the types of viscometers used to measure the viscosity of the given fluid. So I have shared the notes regarding Cauchy-Hatschak and Flower viscometer, Ostwald, Sebald. Okay, you can just refer that. This is a viscometer I have discussed so far. I'll just rush through these slides. This is, you can see the photograph of this Michel viscometer. And in our lab also, in energy conversion lab, we have a redwood viscometer. So you can see that redwood viscometers in our lab. And you have also have an experiment in that redwood viscometer, that is in energy conversion lab. And this is Ostwald viscometer. Viscosity is calculated with this formula in Ostwald viscometer. One more important thing. So effect of temperature and pressure. So temperature and pressure. So what is the behavior of the oil with respect to, I mean, the viscosity of the oil with respect to temperature and pressure? So just observe these two graphs. The first graph is plotted between viscosity versus temperature, and in the second graph it is viscosity versus pressure. So look at the first graph. Here, as the temperature is coming down, the viscosity oil of the oil increases. Look at that. As the temperature goes up, the viscosity of the oil decreases. So that is a behavior of the oil with respect to temperature. And with respect to pressure, it is linear relationship. With the increase in pressure, the viscosity is also getting increased. So here the reverse condition. Okay. Even this question is also very important. Frequently, you may just observe the previous year question papers. You will be getting this question. Discuss the effect of temperature and pressure on viscosity. It's a repeating question. Okay. Then the types of lubrication, we have already discussed about this: hydrodynamic, hydrostatic, elastohydrodynamic, boundary, mixed, extreme. Anyhow, I will share all these slides for your reference. You can just go through that. Look at this roller bearings, anti-friction bearings. This is the ball bearing, elastohydrodynamic lubrication. This is journal bearing. And the lubrication importance and cost. This I have already discussed in the previous classes. Just skip this. So this is one more important slide. So major specifying organizations. So SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, it is in US. API, American Petroleum Institute. US military specs, US MIL 2104. CCMC European Specification, ISO International Standard of Organization, NLGI National Lubricating Grease Institute. So these are all the specifying organization for lubricants. So among which the SAE, the most widely accepted specification is SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers Association. And these are all the codes given to that under SAE. So for warmer areas, regions, it is specified as SAE 20, 30, 40, 10, 50, 60. And for colder or winter, polar region countries, it is designated as SAE 0W, 5W, 10W, 15W, 20W, 25W, where W stands for winter. So SAE viscosity grades for monogrades engine oils. Look at this: SAE 5W, 10W, 15W, 20W, 25W. Can be used either in summer season or in winter season. Gradual shift to multigrades. Shift also due to lower oil consumption. Available as the engine oil and gear oil. So these are all the I've just briefed about the lubricants, lubrication, and lubricators. Okay, and methods of measuring viscosity in case of lubricants. So anyhow, I will share all these slides in your Google Classroom. You can just go through that. So with this, the whole complete module one is completed. Okay. So in the modules from next class, I will take up module two, that is the friction and wear. Clear? All of you type your views in the chat box. I'm going to end the session now for today. So from next class, we will take up friction and wear. So aerodynamic, as of now, first module, whole module one is completed, and one part in module three, that is hydrodynamic lubrication, is completed, and I had just given introduction to wear and friction. So I'm going to cover the syllabus regarding module two in the coming days. Later on, I will again take up the module three for the next test. Okay. So for the first test, I will include module one and the module two up to friction and wear. Okay. So with this, I will end the session. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.